What's up, family?
What's up, fam?
Charles and
Melendia.
And this is Just Keeping It Real. If you would, we want you to send us a comment. We want you to also subscribe to our channel. We want you to hit the alert bell so you can be notified on new content that we come out with.
Yeah.
Do that. Keep us relevant. Keep us in contact because we want you as a family member here with J. Kirk.
Yeah.
Join us as a team. Okay?
Absolutely.
So, bang, what is our purpose?
Our purpose is to empower all people.
All people.
Yes. And building a stronger world.
In hopes of building a stronger world.
Absolutely.
And you're probably asking, who are we? Well, we are relationship advocates. What does that mean?
It means that we publicly support and recommend the strengthening of healthy relationships.
Yep, like yours and like ours.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So our subject today is something that we want to share with you concerning phases of grief. And we know in this year a lot of families in the year 2020 have experienced grief. And it's been difficult for a lot of people to get through the grief. And we want to share with you as we've come together and we have come up with what we call 8 phases of grief. And we want to share those phases with you. But before we do that, I would like for my wife to share a story that's dear and basically to her heart. And so we'll go ahead, baby.
Yeah, so today is Monday, December the 14th. And this is a special day for me and my family because December 14th would have been my sister's 60th birthday. And I lost her 26 years ago. It was 26 years in June. So when we share what we're going to share today, this is a personal walk for me and how these phases are relevant to me
and us
and to my husband because he had to cater through this with me.
We work.
And
thank the Lord. Yeah.
So I'm not talking about things just on the surface or because we read something from somewhere. This is a personal walk. This is a personal journey. This has been a personal struggle. And because this day is very memorable for my family, I wanted to share how you can be able to literally go through years and years of grief without showing anyone how you actually feel. And through the help of God, my family, I'm here and I can talk about it today. It hadn't always been easy.
Nope. Right.
So this candle represents one that's blown out because she's no longer with us, but one still illuminates because she still is with us.
Right.
So when I talk about grief, our first struggle in this phase is guilt. Was guilt. And for my personal struggle with this was if I only would have been there.
Right.
If I only would have done more. If I only would have told her more. Sometimes I still struggle with that. 26 years later. But I know that I know everyone has an appointed time. I know that. But it doesn't make the grief less. My personal next phase was asking why.
Mm-hmm.
You know, why her?
Mm-hmm. Which is normal, right?
Yeah.
For people to ask. Yeah.
Why did it happen this way? Or why not someone else?
And as unfair as that is, it's normal for people to feel that way. Like, why did it have to be my mother, my father, my child, my
sister,
my loved one, my sister, So and that's
wife.
normal,
Yeah.
you know, to go through. And what we're saying to you, if you're feeling that way, is part of the normalcy of grieving for some people.
These are the phases.
Go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, these are the phases,
Mm-hmm.
and it's okay. It's okay. Our third phase is anger.
Mm-hmm.
Anger. I was so angry. I was so angry at losing my sister. We weren't there when she passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And that made it even harder to deal with the first one of guilt. And then, so being mad and angry with, you're really not sure who to be angry with.
Mm-hmm.
And some people may have someone that they could be angry at.
Sure. Right.
So this stifling phase can paralyze you.
Sure. Right.
And it had paralyzed me, because for my instance, I was angry with, I think I can say I was angry with God. I was angry with the weather. I was angry with everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. And don't let anyone tell you that being angry about the loss of a loved one is not okay. It's just what you do or how you channel that anger.
And that's part of the process for a lot of people. The anger, expressing the anger. It could be, towards a loved one. It could be even more tension in the marriage, anger towards each other. So it's normal to express anger, even through grieving.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number 4 is fear. Fear. And when you think about death, I started thinking about my mother, my children, my husband, my other family members, me. Fear of, is it going to be me next, or is it going to be this person next? Mm-hmm. So that is another phase that can actually stop you in your tracks, stifle you. Mm-hmm. And it is a normal phase.
Sure.
It is a normal phase.
And simply just death itself brings on a fear, because I guess the fear of the unknown, because none of us have, oh man, I've been there. I've gone through it. So let me tell you, this is how it is. And see, because of that, the unknown is the thing about it. And that brings on the fear, for a lot of people, even in going through, because sometimes you may imagine, say, what did they go through? What did they feel? How did they feel? Were they afraid? You start asking these questions, and you may or may not get the answers at times.
Right.
So there is, again, a normal part of the normal phase in grieving is fear.
Yes. Yeah. Number 5 for me, and you know what? I deal with this to this day, and that's the loneliness of missing your loved one.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Now, she was my only sibling of my mom, so it was just us girls, me and Bev, and I don't have her to talk to anymore. I don't have her to wish her happy 60th birthday.
Sure, right.
And that feeling when you sit down, what can happen is you'll look at other people. Mm-hmm. You'll look at other people and their siblings.
Right.
And that's a lonely feeling.
But at the same time, when you say you'll look at other and their sibling? Meaning what?
Well, you look at how they have their sisters and their brothers, and they're together, and they have that bond, and they're able to be with their sibling. You know, they don't like me. I don't have that. I don't have that anymore. So I get very lonely with not having her here. So I miss her presence. I miss her voice. I miss seeing her. So that loneliness, sometimes on holidays, on things like today, like her birthday. We used to always call each other on her birthday, and because her and my husband is close to the same age, you know, we kind of used to chuckle a lot about that. But that was that, and it still is a phase that I go through because I don't have a sibling.
Sure.
You know,
right.
So that loneliness will still be there.
Right, and it has to be. You know, it has to be a lonely thing to not have a sibling to talk to and confide in.
Right.
And by the same token, there's been a positive in the loneliness from the fact of when you see even our own children, when the two of them may not be getting along or so,
right.
It helps you because you can say, hey, listen, you better appreciate each other.
Yeah.
Because, again, you don't know what it's like to not have your sibling around. I've seen you intervene in several cases where you saw people and their siblings didn't get along, and you say you better value that.
Right.
You know, so in that's been a positive because you can teach or tell other people
through my experience
because of the loss and the loneliness. Hey, you better value each other while you got each other.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
So go ahead.
Number 6. Thank God I got through this, but it will be a time when you are unable to feel comforted.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
You know the cliches that people say, you'll get over it.
Time heals everything. All
this
wounds.
too shall pass.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you want to strangle them. Seriously. You know, because that is not comforting at that time. And I know they most of the time people really don't know what to say.
Exactly. And can I want to say something there. Sometimes you don't have to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think with the pressure of being, the one, we figure our job is to comfort. Let me think of something to say. And sometimes we force comments that may just fall apart, may come out wrong, may do something. So instead of that, a lot of times it's best to listen and let a person vent or express how they feel.
Yeah.
So definitely.
So it took some time where I had to sit back and think that I can't change this. I can't change this. So eventually, I allowed myself to be comforted, and my most comfort was in prayer and trusting God that He was going to help me through it. So that cliche became an actual reality for me, but it had to sink in. It had to have time to resonate within me to actually see it come into fruition. So it's a time where you can't be comforted. You cry all the time, or you get yourself into the least little thing will remind you of that person. And it will not allow you to feel comforted. But from personal experience, you'll get there. Our 7th phase is denial. And to this day, sometimes I really feel numb to realizing that she's not here anymore. And it feels surreal, to the point that is, funny, not funny. And I just can't believe it. So it's like when we got the news, the initial news about the passing of my sister, I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. That's resonates in my mind still today, that I can't hear a voice anymore. You know, all I have now is memories.
Sure.
So it's the pits, actually, you know. But you come back to reality, and then all those other phases tend to ball up and roll up all in you. But I'm at a point, I know that she's no longer here, but believe me, that is not anything to feel guilty about, feeling that you just cannot believe it.
Sure.
You know. And that's a normal phase.
It is. Just like, as I mentioned before, that concerning traumatic situations that we go through, and death is a very traumatic situation. Sometimes one of the first notions for some people is to deny it, that it's happening. You know, whatever tragedy comes about, first thing is, this is not happening. Mm-hmm. Then after that moment, no, this is for real. Then you may even go to a point of saying, nah, maybe this is just a bad dream. I go to sleep, wake up, it's gone, and everything. But sometimes it doesn't happen that way. Lots of times it doesn't. It's just the reality of it. And it's normal to go through a denial. And like I say, for myself, I lost a loved one, a cousin of mine I grew up, with, and we're very close, coming up. And he passed away this year, 2020, early part and mid part 2020. So when I heard that, it was like, wait a minute, what? I said, I'm just talking to a man, telling my wife and I, we're doing a podcast. I want to share some things with he and his wife to kind of feature, because they've gone through some struggles. But when I heard that he had passed, I'm like, wait a minute, no, man, no. And I was in denial until finally it hit me, and I just, started to cry, and I said, man, my man gone, man. It's gone, bruh. And that thing. So the denial is a normal process of grieving, a normal phase. Yeah. So, okay.
And what we gathered is our last one, number 8, is still haunts me today, and it's sadness. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like today, knowing that she would have been 60 years old, it saddens me that she's not here for me to celebrate that with her.
Sure.
And I go into reflection, and I look at pictures, and it saddens me, but I can't stay there. Mm-hmm. That's the thing about grief for me. Mm-hmm. This is a personal walk. Someone else can go through grief with different stages or different phases, but believe me, a lot of the phases that we just discussed will impact you. And even 26 years later, mm-hmm. for me, right. For us. And I must share, though. I must share for your own sanity, for your own strength, for your own mind. Believe that it's okay to go through all of these. And I also felt that I don't ever want to be happy again. I felt in the phase of mm-hmm. sadness and guilt. If anything, if I was to do anything, I felt guilty because she wasn't here to be able to experience that. But there's nothing I can do about it. Mm-hmm. But dealing with the sadness came, and it comes. But I do know that I couldn't stay in those phases. Some of those phases come and they go, but I can't stay there. So I wanted to be as transparent with you all about my emotional journey and how it affects our growth and connection together. We've gone through a lot.
Sure.
And I do know certain things in marriages that people go through, they can't tough it out, but it's only by the grace of God that having the loss of my only sibling, that I would never ever in my wildest dreams thought that I would experience that in my lifetime. I have, and we wanted to be transparent with you to say, it happens. And we can get through this together. We can be a support system together. So in conclusion, you are not alone.
Always know that. Always know that. Though you might feel like it, but always know you're not alone. You're not the only one that's gone through. Someone else from their experiences can share with you and even help you. You help each other, and that's the thing, to get through it. You're not alone.
And something that you really should seek out is counseling.
Right.
A grief counselor in your area, in your city and state, and a family member should look into that as you are going through these stages. Someone else, to look out for you. So the things that they could do is look out for your well-being, your mental health well-being, and work on a grief counselor, getting a grief counselor. And another thing is, it's okay to cry.
Yeah, right.
It's okay to cry.
Crying is just a reminder, that you're human, that you're vulnerable. So it's definitely okay to do that.
Yeah.
But sometimes even if somebody, you may feel like, I've cried so much. And if that is taking you to a point of depression, again, we put more emphasis on the grief counseling.
Yeah. And talk to somebody.
Talk to somebody.
Talk to others. Talk about how you're feeling.
Sure, right.
That is a great medicine. And it's going to take time.
And
it's going to take time.
Right. And especially talking with people. Again, we talk about people that are empathetic on what you're dealing with.
Yeah.
Or people that have gone through it, have dealt with. Sometimes people that have had the experience, they're more empathetic or show more empathy towards you. And I'm not saying feeling sorry, but they could share where you are going, what you're going through, and where you've been.
Exactly. So allowing that time to heal, whatever time.
Yes.
Just remember, don't stay there. Whatever stage you're in, loved ones that are around you, friends and family, help them to walk through this journey.
Sure. Right.
Because it's not healthy to stay there. If my sister was to be able to whisper in my ear, and sometimes I think she does, I believe she had told me, we're going to get through this. Don't stay where you are. Because there's other people that's dependent on you. I loved my sister. Beverly Jean Urban Smith was her name. And today
is her name.
So I say her name. Beverly.
Yes.
And
that's what you have to do. You have to keep your loved one's name alive.
Yes.
Meaning, speak it often. Share it with kids, because you may have even children or family members that may not have ever met them.
Right.
Talk about them.
Yes.
Keep that memory alive, Don't let them, quote, dissolve in your family. No, keep that memory. Keep it alive. You got to keep the legacies alive.
Yeah, because we talked to our grandson for him to know who his Aunt Beverly was. Our children, they were younger, and I think our son, he barely remembers her.
Sure, right.
But they know who their Aunt Beverly was and is in our life. And she raised and birthed two wonderful boys that are now grown, that deals with their own sense of grief because that was their mom.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So what I try to do is remember the good times about her. Remember the laughter that we had. Remember the different things that she did that was silly in the family. Remember certain occasions. And granted, going through that memory lane of pictures and thoughts can stir up some of those phases that we just talked about. But please remember, don't stay there. So make sure you talk to somebody. Check out a grief counselor. And know that you're not alone. I'm here. Give me a call. Send me a message. We can talk about this. And you can share your things here on our podcast. Give me some responses. Help me through this. I need you guys. I need some support.
Exactly.
And we need to support each other.
We need each other. Yes, right. And at times, I know you mentioned as far as giving yourself, allowing yourself time to heal. You've got to, and can't. I don't think nobody can put your time for healing per se. Hey, you should be over this now. Everybody grieves differently. We got to understand that. So be a support and try to help people to keep it moving per se, and not standing still and stuck. That's what it said.
Yeah. Right. So here's to my sister, Beverly Jean Irvin.
Beverly Jean Irvin.
At 60 years old, she would have been today. So this is dedicated to you, Bev, and thank you, our J. Kerr family.
Love, right?
Stay safe.
All right, thank you for joining us in our podcast. Again, sharing real and sincere moments there that we deal with. And again, we love you.
And we are just keeping it real.
Right. And we pray your strength as well as our strength in going through the grief and just life itself. And our talk is about life, love and relationships. Until next time, we love you. Peace out.
Fam.
Sometimes they come and make me doubt. And you come, Lord, and pick me up and make me strong. Yes, you do, and I want to say thank you, Lord. Give me strength to go from day to day. I want to say thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. I want to say it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Lord. Whoa. Thank you, Lord. But I hope that one day I can tell you face to face. Thank you, Lord. I'm hoping to tell you face to face.